Hello, dear children. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Jishajo. In this session, we will be discussing the questions from the chapter Transpiration. So first, we shall have a look at some of the terms that can be asked for definition. Transpiration, loss of water in the form of water vapor from the leaves and other aerial parts of the plant. Stomatal transpiration, transpiration occurring from the leaves through the stomata. Cuticular transpiration, transpiration occurring directly from the surfaces of leaves and stem. Lenticular transpiration, transpiration occurring through lenticels, which are minute openings on the surfaces of old stems. Stomata, minute pores present on the surfaces of leaves, which are guarded by guard cells and help in transpiration. Lenticels are minute openings on the barks of old stems. Guttation, loss of water in the form of water droplets from the margins of leaves, or you can write through vein endings or through the hydatodes. Loss of water in the form of water droplets through the vein endings or through the hydatodes. Bleeding, loss of plant sap from the cut surfaces. Hydatodes, special pore-bearing structures present on the margins of leaves through which guttation takes place. Now coming to differentiation type questions. Differentiate between Garrow's spotometer and Gannong's spotometer. So we know Gannong's spotometer helps to measure the rate of water intake by a plant, whereas Garrow's spotometer is used to demonstrate unequal transpiration from the two surfaces of a dorsiventral leaf. Farmer's spotometer and Darwin's spotometer. The function of the farmer's spotometer is used to measure the rate of water intake by a plant, same as that of Gannong's spotometer, whereas Darwin's spotometer is used to demonstrate suction force created due to transpiration. Stomatal transpiration and cuticular transpiration. Transpiration occurring through the stomata present on the surfaces of leaves is called as stomatal transpiration, whereas cuticular transpiration is transpiration occurring through the cuticle or transpiration occurring directly from the surfaces of leaves and stems through the cuticle. Differentiate between stomata and lenticels. Stomata are minute openings which are guarded by guard cells and are present mostly on the upper epidermis of leaves, whereas lenticels are minute openings present on the surfaces of old stems or the barks of old stems. Special openings that are present on the barks of old stems are called as lenticels. And another difference is stomata. The stomatal pore can be opened and closed, whereas with the help of guard cells, whereas lenticels never close. They always remain open. They always remain open. Then transpiration and guttation. Transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the leaves or from the aerial parts of the plant, whereas guttation is the loss of water in the form of water droplets from the margins of leaves or through vein endings. Another difference you can say, transpiration occurs through stomata, guttation occurs through hydatodes. Okay, transpiration occurs in presence of sunlight, whereas guttation occurs at night or during early mornings. So several differences you can write to differentiate between transpiration and guttation. Then guttation and bleeding. Guttation we have already seen. What is bleeding? Bleeding is the escape of the plant sap from the ruptured or the cut surfaces of a plant. That is bleeding. And both guttation and bleeding we have seen both are due to the root pressure. Root pressure is the cause of both guttation and bleeding. Then transpiration and evaporation. We have already seen transpiration is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant, whereas evaporation is the loss of water from the surface of water bodies in the form of water vapor. So it is the evaporation of water from the surfaces of water bodies. Another difference is that transpiration is a very slow process, whereas evaporation is a fast process. So that is with regard to the terms that can be asked for differentiation. Now coming to the location and role, certain terms that you can expect from this chapter which can be asked as location and role question. Number 1, stomata. Where is it located? Stomata, minute openings mostly present on the under surface or lower surfaces of leaves. What is the role? Helps in transpiration. Also helps in gaseous exchange. Lenticels, again, they are minute openings that are present on the barks of old stems. And role, again, it helps in transpiration and also it helps in gaseous exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide for respiration. Then cuticle is a waxy coating or a waxy layer present on the surfaces of the leaves, and the function of the cuticle is to prevent or to reduce the rate of transpiration. Even though some amount of transpiration occurs through cuticle, the main function of the cuticle is to reduce the rate of transpiration, especially in desert plants which have thick cuticle. It is the cuticle that prevents or reduce the rate of transpiration. So function of the cuticle is to reduce or prevent the rate of transpiration. Reduce the rate of transpiration or prevent transpiration. Then guard cells, location, bean-shaped cells present at the opening of the stomatal pore, that is the location, and function helps in opening and closing of stomata. Okay. Hydrathodes are special pores or openings at the vein endings, pore-bearing structures which are present on the margins of leaves are called as hydrathodes. Okay, and the function helps in guttation. Okay, so these are some of the terms that can be asked for location and role from this chapter. Now coming to certain give reasons. More transpiration occurs from the under surface of dicot leaves. The reason? Because in dicot leaves, more number of stomata are present on the under surface. The number of stomata are more on the under surface of a dicot leaf, and hence more transpiration occurs from the under surface of dicot leaves. Leaves of certain plants wilt during midday. That is because the rate of transpiration exceeds or is more than the rate of absorption of water by roots. That is the reason why plants wilt during midday. The rate of transpiration exceeds the rate of absorption of water by the roots. Balsam plants wilt during midday even if the soil is well watered. Again the same answer, during midday, since it is very hot, the temperature is high, the rate of transpiration will be much more than the rate of water absorption by the roots. Even though the soil is well watered, the absorption rate will be less than the rate of transpiration. That is why balsam plants wilt during midday even though the soil is well watered. Okay, so next question. Transplanting of seedlings to a flower bed in the evening is better than doing so in the morning. Because in the evening we know the temperature is not so high, and the stomatal opening remains closed or constricted during the evenings. As the temperature is not so high, no photosynthesis is taking place, stomata remain constricted, and as the stomata remain closed, the loss of water by transpiration will be less during the evenings, and the turgidity of the plants can be reacquired fast during the evenings. That is why transplanting of seedlings is done in the evening. During evenings the temperature is less, the transpiration rate is very low, as the stomatal openings are closed, and hence the plants can regain their turgidity very soon. That is why transplanting of seedlings is done in the evening. Desert plants tend to have thick cuticle. Why? The reason is to reduce transpiration or to prevent transpiration. More transpiration occurs during daytime. Yes, more transpiration because during daytime the stomata remain open. So as to take in carbon dioxide, or for the gaseous exchange. During daytime photosynthesis is taking place, so for gaseous exchange to take place, the stomata remain open during daytime. So whenever the stomata is open, transpiration will take place. So more transpiration occurs during daytime. A higher rate of transpiration is recorded on a windy day, because when the wind blows, the water vapor released by transpiration is removed faster from the area outside the leaf, and the area outside the leaf is not saturated with water vapor, as the wind removes the water vapor that surrounds the leaves. So the rate of transpiration will be higher on a windy day. In some xerophytes, leaves are modified to spines. Again, the reason is to reduce transpiration. To reduce transpiration, leaves of certain plants, xerophytes, as in the case of cactus, you can see that the leaves are reduced to spines. It is an adaptation made by the plant to reduce transpiration. Leaves of certain plants roll up on a bright sunny day. Again, the same reason, to reduce transpiration. Rolling of leaves reduces the surface area, exposed area of the leaves, and thereby reduces the rate of transpiration. Leaves of Nerium are narrow with sunken stomata. So narrow leaves and sunken stomata are adaptations of leaves to reduce transpiration. Narrow leaves means there is reduced surface area, so the number of stomata will be less, and as a result the rate of transpiration will be less. Sunken stomata, the stomata are not exposed but they remain sunken, and so the rate of transpiration is again low. So narrow leaves and sunken stomata are adaptations made by the plant to reduce transpiration. Transpiration is a necessary evil. Why do we say that transpiration is a necessary evil? Transpiration is actually something which is not it can be considered as an evil to the plant. Why? Because it is actually the loss of water. Loss of water in the form of water vapor is taking place in the process of transpiration. But here it is a necessary evil. So what is the reason that you will write? You can write about the significances of transpiration. That is, you can mention about the cooling effect. Transpiration gives a cooling effect to the plant. Then you can write about transpiration helps in the ascent of sap by producing a suction force from the top of the plant, and also transpiration helps in the distribution of water and mineral salts. Even though transpiration results in the loss of water from the plant body, it is actually a necessity to the plant because of all these reasons, because of the cooling effect which it provides, because of the suction force which it provides for the upward movement of water and minerals, and also transpiration helps in the distribution of water and minerals. Transpiration has great significance to the plant. Again, the reasons which we have mentioned now, the significance of transpiration, that is what you have to write here. Forests contribute in bringing rain. Okay, so you can just write one example of that. A large apple tree can lose about 30 liters of water per day. So in a forest, large number of trees are there. So if each tree contributes such huge amount of water into the atmosphere, then what happens? The moisture of the atmosphere increases and it helps in bringing down rains. So forest has large number of trees, and each tree contributes a large amount of water vapor into the atmosphere through transpiration, which increases the moisture of the atmosphere and brings down rain. So forests contribute in bringing rains. Droplets of water are seen on the leaf margins of certain plants during early mornings. What is the process there? Guttation. So give reason. What is actually happening there? So in such conditions, normally guttation takes place in humid conditions. So in humid conditions, transpiration will not take place. But even then, the roots of the plants will continue to absorb water from the soil. So this builds up a hydrostatic pressure inside the plant, which forces out the excess water directly from the vein endings. That is what is happening there. So droplets of water are seen on the leaf margins of certain plants during early mornings. The reason, what will you write? During early mornings, even though the transpiration is low, the roots continue to absorb water from the soil. This in turn builds up a pressure inside the plant, which forces out the excess water from the tips of veins or from the margins of leaves. Transpiration helps in the distribution of water and minerals in plants. Yes. How? Because it is provided by the suction force. As a result of transpiration, a suction force is built up which helps in the ascent of sap, or upward ascent of sap is the upward conduction of water and minerals. So it is transpiration which provides a suction pull which is exerted on the column of water in the xylem, which contains these mineral salts, and thus transpiration helps in the distribution of water and minerals in plants. So I hope the give reasons are clear to you. Now coming to the structured type questions, the bell jar experiment, which we have discussed, can be asked as a diagram based question, not as a diagram. It will come as a diagram based question. Then a test tube containing a cut twig in water, that also can be asked as a diagram based question. Since the cut twig is placed, it is transpiration that is taking place. I have explained it during the session of transpiration which I have taken earlier. Then another important diagram based question that you can expect from this chapter is Ganong's potometer. The precautions, the limitations, all these I have discussed earlier. Then cobalt chloride experiment again can be asked. What is cobalt chloride experiment? It is an experiment to demonstrate unequal transpiration from the two surfaces of leaves. So again that can be asked as a diagram based question. And an important diagram that you should know is the stomatal apparatus. The structure of stomata, the two guard cells, the bean-shaped guard cells around which the epidermal cells are drawn. You have to label the nucleus, the chloroplast inside the guard cells, the stoma, the thick inner walls, thin outer walls, the surrounding epidermal cells, all these have to be labeled. That also I have mentioned while we were discussing while we were discussing the structure of stomata in this chapter. So these are some of the structured questions that you can, structured type questions which you can expect from this chapter. So all the others, bell jar experiment, cut twig in water, Ganong spotometer, cobalt chloride experiment, all these are diagram based questions. Okay, stomatal apparatus can be asked as a diagram based question also, but if you draw and study the diagram, if it comes as a diagram based question, you can answer it neatly. Okay, so it can be asked for drawing and labeling also, stomatal apparatus. So with that, we come to the end of the discussion of the important questions that you can expect from this chapter, transpiration. I hope the chapter, what we have discussed here in this session is clear to you. If you have any doubts or suggestions, please ask your doubts and give your suggestions or comments in the comment section. Thank you.